Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a good looking arrow puzzle in front of us. It is called Arrows Arrows. I wonder why. It's by isamook or isamook. I don't think I've seen this setter before, if I can remember, but maybe I have. I don't think so. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Good to see a new setter if they are a new setter. If I haven't seen them before, good to finally meet them. So anyway, with that said, let's take a look at the rules. I think it's fairly standard what these are, but we may find out differently because I haven't read them all yet, but let's take a look at them. Normal Sudoku rules, of course. So every row, column, and 3x3 box will contain the digits 1 through 9 once each. Digits along an arrow sum to the digit in the attached circle. So that's fairly normal. There is some weird stuff going on here, but let's take the basic stuff. These three digits, whatever they are, will add to this digit, digit here. These two will add to this one, etc., etc. Now, there's also digits along a line sum to the same sum of the digits in the attached circle. Oh. So this is a combination of normal arrows and then not between line. What's the other one called? Oh, I can't remember it, but so like we have an arrow. Let's look at this grouping here. We have a normal arrow. So these three did wherever they are will add to this. Well, these two here, we have two circles. There's no arrow. There's a line between them. So whatever the value of these two circles is, these two digits here will have that same value. Whatever these two circles are, add them together, you get a value. These two digits will add to that same value. And that's going to happen throughout these things. So we're going to have to go through and look to see what correlates to what. So interesting. It's a little more complex than I thought it was going to be. So that's perfectly fine by me. But anyway, link's going to be in the description below. Let's give this thing a try, see if we can figure it out. Excuse me. Now, we're going to be able to figure some things out about some of these. I'm going to start here just because it's where I was looking. There's probably some other things you could do. These guys have to be a minimum of 6, 7s, 8s, or 9s, but I think we can filter that down a little further. There's no way these can both add to 6. Because if these, let's say these are a 1-2 pair, how do you put 1 and 2 on this line? You can't. Same goes for 7. So essentially what it means is that these two must have two different ways of making them. So the 8 would work because we could do a 1, 2, 5 and a 1, 3, 4. We just have to organize those digits in some way where they don't work or don't hurt each other. I paused there for a second because I just realized there's a 2 here. Because that could be interesting. It could. And in relation to the fact that it's staring down this line. Yeah, I guess it doesn't though, does it? I guess what it does say is that there's always a 1 on this line. I'm kind of not keen to leave this pencil mark here, but it will be true. Because no matter what this is, 8 or 9, this has to have a 1 on it. If it's a 9, it can't be 2, 3, 4, so it has to have a 1 on it. If it's an 8, it just has to have a 1 on it. Okay. I don't know if this is exactly the place we want to be, but one of the other things we can see here is that this is going to be a low digit because these two digits are going to add to some value. That has to be the same value as these two. So I'm wondering if we want to start looking at this thing now or move off to something like this. Because this is the same, well, it's not the same situation, but it has, ironically, the same kind of restraints. This has to be from 6, 7, 8, 9 because of this. Well, it can't be 6, because if you put 1, 2, 3 here, what do you put here to add to 6? 4, 5 is 9. If you have 1, 2, 4 to add to 7, what the heck do you put here to add to 7? You have 3, 5 left. That's 8. Can't happen. So this becomes an 8-9 pair. Now, you could also think about it in just math, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. They have to at least add to 15. It's another way to think about it. Works perfectly fine, does the exact same thing. Now, the options on, so I'm just sucking on a lozenge because my throat has been really bad recently. So I apologize for any undue noise associated. Is there any grouping of these that would cause problems? I don't think there is. Let's say these were 8s. These would have to be a grouping of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Which means it would be a 1, 3, 4, and a 2, 6. Now it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 15. 2 18s is 16. You just have to increase it by 1 digit. So you have to bump the 5 up to a 6. Now the 9 probably has, or does it have other? No, it's fine. The 9 doesn't have as much restriction. Okay. Now again, we're going to have 2 digits that have to add up to what these are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, that's going to force this to be at least a 6. Because these digits here are going to add to a minimum of 15. So this plus this have to add to at least 15. The lowest we can get would be a 9, 6. Which would work. I wonder if we just have to kind of continue the journey, excuse me again, along these lines, but I don't think so because we kind of lose the point here. Because whatever this is, these are 3 digits that add up to these 2. Well, you can easily make a low-ish combination of 3 digits. But maybe just think about math in general for this entire region. Let's say this is 8. What occurs? Well, you get 8, 16, 24. These would have to add to 21. That's impossible. Okay, math to the rescue. Because 8, 16, 24 leaves 21, because you have to get to 45 in an entire region. So how do you make 2 digits add to 21? You can't. So this is 9. Now, if this is 9, 18, 27, these 3 digits have to add to 18. Now, the only way you can add 2 digits to 18 is if they're both 9s. This is an 8 as well. Now, this 8 cannot be 1, 2, 5, so it must be 1, 3, 4. This 8 can't be 1, 3, 4, so it has to be the other version, 1, 2, 5. Oh, wrong mode, 1, 2, 5. Now, we can't necessarily say where all of these go at the moment. And like I said, I don't think we can say, well, we know there's an 8 on here. I guess we can do that. Because you can't put an 8 here because of Sudoku. You can't put an 8 on this 3-cell line. So one of these ends up being an 8. 9s have to go into one of these. Okay, we can just do more with the 9s. This can't be a 9. This can't be a 9. So this is. What else? Do we get much out of that? Again, we're going to have this similar to what we had kind of very briefly talked about here. These two can't get too high. Because what can the most these can be? Well, I guess technically it could, well, no, it can't because the 9 here. I was going to say it could be a 7 with the 9, but that 9 prevents that. So 13 is technically the highest we can ever go here, because we can't use 9s or 8s, so it'd be a 7, 6. But that lets this guy go up to at least a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We do have a quintuple of 5s. These have to be, and we're probably going to just be able to say a couple of things here. Let's just go through them. Yeah, these are a 9-8 pair. That's the simple way, because we can't put 9 in any of these locations. Or maybe not. Let's do this. Stop waffling. This is not 8. These are not 9s. This could still be a 9, though, I think. Yeah, it could, because we could get a 9 in here. Well, we can't put a 1 here. Let's think about that, because what we have to do here, there has to be a 1 on each of these. So it's either going to be here, here, or here, here. So this is not 1. Now, can we further this? Because the most this can ever be is 7. I guess that can put a 12. And this could be like a 9, 3. Okay, that is possible. All right, well, we get an 8 in one of these two and a 9 in one of those. None of these can be 9s. We can't necessarily rule out a 9. Oh, we can because this one, but I was going to say, because this is an adding line, we can't necessarily say no on the 9s, but one of those is. Do we have anything else 9-wise we can work with? Don't think so. So let's think further. We know these add up to 18. We already have an 8, so the other two add to 10. But there's tons of ways that could work. 7, well, there's 2 ways it can work, because we can't do 9, 1, or 8, 2. It's 7, 3, or 6, 4. Don't think we can rule those out. So, do we have anything else on board? You have to at least be, well, at most you can be 7. Is it ever possible that we could put a 3 on here? Now, obviously, we can't put a 1 or a 2. Yeah, we could put a no, we can't put a 3 because of what this 2 would do to this thing. If this is a 3, this has to be 2, 1. Well, then this has to be 1, 2, but we know there's a 1 here. So this is not 3. Can't be 4, because this can't be a 2, 2. Okay. So we're starting to bump these guys a little bit. This has to either be 3, 4, or 5 at the moment. I don't know if that's helping us too much, but what more? Can we put some digits in here that are worth any real value? Because this could be as low as 8. Or sorry, low as 10 is what I meant to say. So this could be a 3 at the lowest. Or it could be as high as 13. So it could go up to a 7. I don't like that at all. Let's try to find some more decent logic here. We know these add up to, let's use that. These add up to 18. Plus 9 is 27. So again, these 3 have to add to 18. Now, it just does the same thing over here. We have an 8, and then 2 digits that add to 10, and 8 and 2 digits that add to 10. Okay. What else? Do the 1, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 5 help us in any way? Say that 2s are somewhat restricted. There's only one of these two could be a 2. Obviously, these can't be because you have a 1, 2, 5 triple. None of these can, just by base Sudoku. Again, not sure that helps as much. And none of these really have much reduction on their side. What about the 1s? This can't be a 1. And well, 1 on this row. This can't be a 1 because we already stated one of these two has to be a 1 to make these 8 lines work. So none of these are. One of these two is a 1. Now, it is possible this could be a 1 because it could be a 9-1 and a 7-3 or 6-4 or something like that. Or it could be even like a 6-1 and a 5-2. Okay, that's not massively helpful either. What can this digit be? That's a better question because we have a 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a minimum of 5. Perfect. So if this is a minimum of 5, this can't be. First off, the most it can be is a 6, and this would be a 1 or a 2. Gives us a 6-7 pair, so we can place our 9. And we can get rid of some other markings. Okay. That's something. Now, the bare minimum this can be now is 10, which means this can't be a 2. So one of these is, which means you're not. Now, if it's a 10, it could be 6-4 or 7-3. It can't be 11 because we can't put a 2 here. Is it possible this could be a 3? Which gets us to 12. We would have to do 7-4. That is possible. 4 is also possible, I think, right? Because we'd be at 13, we could do... All right, 7-5 is 12, you dummy. So it's either a 1 or a 3. 7 and 5. If it's 10, it could be 6-4 or 7-3. Okay. Yeah, because I can't go to 4 because we can't get up to 13 anymore. All right. Well, that does now tell us where the 2 goes. So that's good because it can't go in any of these positions. So it is here. And what else does it say? 1, 3, 4. No, this is from 1, 3, 4, or 5. I'm not too keen on putting that in. What else can we now say about anything? Does that 9 do any more work for us? One of these two is, which means this is. And what else do we have? We know one of those two. We don't really know anything else here, so that's not helpful. The 8s aren't really all that helpful at the moment. 5, 6. This changes now. This can't be a 3. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just thinking about the leftovers. There's not a lot there. I mean, this just becomes 5, 6, 7. And this becomes 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't need that in my life at the moment. Is there any more reduction then on this guy? Yeah, there's a little bit. Because the lowest this can ever be is 11. Which means 3 is right out. Because there's no way to make, the most you could ever make with a 3 would be 10. Can we use no, we can't use a 5 either, can we? Because if this was a 5 and an 8, we're at 13. We can't make these two add to 13. That's not 5. There's a 5 here. This is a 2-5 pair. Let's get rid of the 1, put it here. One of these is a 1, you're not. Okay. This is still 1, 3, 4, 5, so it's not massive for us at the moment. This 9, we do have a little bit more with the 2 now. Says this has to have a 1. And it cannot be 1, 2, 6, so it has to be 1, 3, 5. If that's 1, 3, 5, what can this still be? Could be 7, 2, and that's it. Good. This is not 7. These then have to be 4, 6, and 8. That gives us 3 and 5 and 6, and that hopefully does some work here. That 1, 4 says this is 3. That says this is 1. This is not. This is a given 4. That says this is 5. This is 7 and 6. 6 and 5 is 11. 8 and 3 is 11. 9 is 1 is 10. 7 and 3 is 10. These are not 6s. Okay, we got some work out of that. What are these guys? 4 and 7, that'll help even more, because this is 8 and 7. This is 5, which means this is 2. This is 7 and 2. You're not 5. 1, 3, this is 4 and 7. Perfect. Let's see what this digit is. It's 8. These 3 digits are 3, 6, and 9. Of course, we said this can't be 9, so we can get rid of those markings. We don't need them anymore. I don't believe. Let's look at these guys down here. All of them have groupings. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 3, 5, and 2, 7. That is 9 and 9, which adds to 18. That's all good. Good. So we've got a little bit of something going on here now. Let's see how we can get into the rest of it. Let's see. What can we do with the 9 here? It can't, it could be 8, 1. It can't be 7, 2. It could be 6, 3. But it can't be 5, 4, so that's not all that useful, sadly enough. Okay. Does that push anything down here? 7. That's it, though. Okay. What else? What about this digit? It's probably not all that reduced, right? Because we have a 9 here, we need another digit here, and then these two will add to whatever that adds up to. Now, obviously, this can't be a 9, 8, or a 7 by Sudoku. It can't be a 6, because we have no way to make 15. Could it be 5? Can we make 14? The answer is no. So we're looking at 4, 3, 2, and 1 at the moment. If it's 4, we're at 13. I don't think we can make 13. 9, 4, 8, 5, 7, 6. None of those are possible. So it's not 13 either. Okay. Interestingly enough, that's getting pushed down. Can we ever get 12? No to 9, 3. No to 8, 4. Notice 7, 5. No, can't be 12. That's really interesting. This thing's getting really pushed down. I knew it was going to be a low digit to begin with, but still. So we've got either 11 or 12. Is it even possible the 11 is doable? Because we can't do 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, or 6, 5. No, this is just a 1. Very interestingly, completely reduce that digit. These have to add to 10. The only way to make 10 is 6, 4 now, because we can't do 9, 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, or obviously 5, 5. So 6, 4. That 6, 4 tells us this ain't a 6, 3. It's a 1, 8. The 4, 6 says this is 3. These are not 3s. This one here has to be 3 and 7, I think. Yes. Cutting across, see if any of these things work out. They don't. Let's see if this 3, 7 works. If it's a 3, this would have to be a 6. If it's a 7, it has to be a 2. It can't be a 2. This is 6, 3, 7. This can't be 3. This can't be 6. Remember to cut across and look at everything. Okay, it seems to be good to go. This one here, it's either going to be 8 or 9, and it can't be 8, because you can't put a 1 here, so it's 9. Good. Are we good with 9s? We've got to be pretty darn close. We got an X-wing left over. Okay, that's fine. So this is a 2. That doesn't quite record here. What about these digits? Let's try to get some things in here. 1, 3, 4, and 5. I don't know that we're going to get a ton of reduction there. We're not at all, really. This can't be a 5. Whoop-de-doo. Let's... is this guy going to be enough use to us? Oh, the 6 here says this is 4 and 6. Let's do that first, and then we can cut the 4 back and put an 8 here. The 8 then gives us the 1 and the 8. Okay, that'll do more damage. Good. This becomes 5. This isn't. This becomes 4. This becomes 6. This can't be 4. 1, 3, 4s. I think we're going to probably get into these rows a little bit. Like this one here is just a 7. So there's probably going to be some math here we can do to figure out how high this thing can actually go. Because right now, the bare minimum here is 4. The bare minimum here is 1. That's 5 plus 7 is 12. Well, we can't put a 3 here, so that's not going to work. This thing could be a 4 or an 8. That's the only opportunities they have. So we're looking at either 13 or 17. Can we make that work? Let's think about the 17. Well, do we want to think? Let's think about the 13 first. Because again, this has to, the minimum here is a 4. So these two together, yeah, that'll never, well, no, it could be a 5, right? Because it could be a 5 with a 1. And that'll get us there. Yeah, I think there's going to be too many options there, so I might want to hold off on that for just a second. 1, 3, 4, 8 here. That's not going to really do anything. I don't think these are either. Oh, there has to be a 2 in one of these. Let's see if there's anything else like one of these is an 8. 1, 3, 4. One of these is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, nothing quite crazy there. All right, let's continue to think about some of this stuff. This can't be a 1, because if it is, this has to be a 9 to add to 10. This can't be a 3, because we can't add 7. can't be a 5 because we can't put a 5. This is 4. There we go. Get on the easier stuff. If that's a 4, this has to be 6. That forces the 9 and the 6. Now let's look at, well, this becomes 9. This is not, obviously. What are these two digits now? They are 4 and 8. Put those in for the moment. What are these two digits? 2 and 5. And what are these two digits? 3 and 7. Okay. Nothing spectacular, of course, but we can look across the board. The 4, 6 says this is 8. To anything else that is 2, 3, 5, 7. No, I was hoping we could get something through some of that. Doesn't look like it. Let's take a quick look at Sudoku just to make sure there's nothing just staring at us. Because there might be. You never know. Never hurts to give it a try. I don't think there is, but I've been wrong before. Oh, this is a 4-8 pair now. Now that we remove the 8 here. So let's get rid of all that and say 4-8. Okay. One of these is a 5. It's not really all that helpful. One of these will be a 6. Again, not all that helpful. One of these is a 7. Nothing there of use that I can see. And then the 8s. Don't think so. 9s are done. Okay. So we're going to have to figure out one of these. Got a 4 X-Wing, doesn't matter. Got a 2 X-Wing, doesn't matter. Okay. We have to go back to this guy, figure out what can be what. 5, 6, and 8 are the only options here. So it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, or 9. So let's rethink what this can be. Can this ever be a... Yeah, we could still have that be a 4, because it could be a 5, 1, right? Yeah. And it could be an 8. We need to be to 17. No, it actually can't be an 8, interestingly enough. But yeah, no, because these would be 17 total. Well, this is a 7. These two would have to add up to 10. In what orientation can you ever make these add up to 10? You can't. 8, 1, 6, 3, 5. Oh, you can, 5, 5. Sorry. The double digits got me. Okay, so that's not the correct way to go about it. Okay, what else? I think we're done with all these other clues, though. It's just going to be finding the one group of digits that can and can't be. We can probably reduce these a little bit. Because what do we... Okay, yeah. We said this is always a 5, right? Because if this was to be a 4, we're at 13. The only way to make 13 after we've taken out 7 is 6, so 5, 1. If this is 17, they have to add to 10. They would be 5, 5. This is 5. This is not a 3. Let's use that 5 now to get us going. 3, 7, 3, 4, 6, 8. Where does the 6 go? Has to go here. 6 and 4, 8 and 4. Good. The 3s can't be here. This is just a given 8. That'll come back up and give us the 4 and the 8. Now we can work this stuff out. 1, 4. So now we know these are 17, so these had to be a 5, 5 pair. Good. This is not 5. And I think we have Sudoku. Yeah, just 2, 5. This becomes a 2. This is a 1, 3 pair, but there's a 3 here, so we get 1 and 3 and 1 and 3. This becomes 1, 5, 1. This is a given of 6. And these have to be 3 and 7. So we can put the 7 and the 3, and then the 2 and the 7, and the 5 and the 2. There we go. Solve the puzzle. Solution is correct. 111 solves in 4 days. Not huge, but not bad. 35 minutes ain't bad at all. Particularly since I got caught up in a couple of spots here, but I really did enjoy that puzzle. I don't know if we've seen one necessarily that's used the arrows directly with these other types of lines. We may have, I just don't quite recall if we did or not, but it all really worked out quite well. And figuring out, I guess this guy right here was really the kind of the catalyst to get things moving. And then once it all got going, had a little bit of headwind, if you will, we could make ways to sort it all out. So very good puzzle. Very good puzzle. Glad I saw this one. I'll have to take a look to see if isamook is someone who's done multiple puzzles before, or this might be one of their earlier ones. I'm not quite sure, but I'll have to do a little research for myself. I hope you all enjoyed this one, though, and then we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.